Okay, so today I will be explaining the Sigil method, which was incorporated into cued cohesion, and the Sigil method is created by Amy Sigil. So the concepts or the staging methods that I will be describing today are the magic V, circle rotation, circle fade back, stealing to a stagger, downbeat right, leader stage left, stealing to a stagger, downbeat left, leader stage right, chorus line, focus groups, and tricky trios. Okay, so beginning with the magic V. Okay, so the magic V. The magic V sits on its side on the top left-hand corner of the movement space. Here we go. When we're talking about downbeat right. Anyway, the magic V stagger formation, leader stage left, downbeat right. Okay. So every time you make a stagger, you make a magic V. The magic V tells you two things. Number one, it tells you which formation you are in. And number two, it tells you the size of your movement area. The magic V refers to three key positions which are occupied by the stagger leader in position 1, the circle leader, position 2, and the chorus leader in position 3. They're distinct set positions on the floor, and their locations are dependent of who occupies them. As soon as the leader moves onto the floor, these positions have been established. Once established, the position location never moves, even when the movers rotate. Okay. Here we have our magic V. Stagger formation, leader stage right, downbeat left. And again, it's the stagger formation sits on its side here. The magic V formation sits on its side. And again, as it states, it tells us which formation you're in. Position 1 leader, position 2 the circle leader, and position 3 the chorus line leader. Okay. Circle formation from a stagger formation, leader stage left, downbeat right. So this formation is made from a stagger formation and begins with the leader cueing either a timed turn or a directional turn. So the circle formation from a stagger formation using a timed turn, downbeat right, leader stage left. So in order to initiate a circle from a stagger formation, the leader in the stagger formation will cue a counterclockwise turn. Actually, they cue a timed turn. In other words, they cue a timed turn. So they will stop at the back right diagonal or upstage right angle. Whilst the rest of the group completes the turn. They'll make eye contact with the leader. The leader steps into the circle lead position. Okay, so they'll stop at the back right diagonal or upstage right angle. So as they're making their turn, they will keep turning until they get to here, and they will stop here. They'll wait for the other dancers to complete their turn. Once the dancers have made eye contact with the leader steps into the circle lead position. Okay. What happens then, once they've established their circle, the front row of the stagger will form the top part of the circle, and the bottom row of the stagger will form the bottom half of the circle. All the movers are facing towards the centre of the circle. Let's have a look at this. We'll have a look at that later, in fact. We're going on to explain how the circle formation from a stagger formation using a directional turn occurs. Okay. From downbeat right, leader stage left. So we've talked about how we can cue a timed turn to how we can cue a circle from a stagger formation using a timed turn. Now we're going to look at how we can cue a circle from a directional turn. Okay, so when using a directional turn, the lead position will finish the last directional turn before they are the lead position again. The moment right before they are visually seen in the lead again, they will turn back clockwise towards the back right diagonal. Okay, so let's say that the leader here of the stagger formation decides they want to cue a circle. So what they will do is they will initiate a directional turn, for example, a quarter turn. They will face, as they would do, the side wall, the back wall. They would face the next side wall. And then once they are seen, the dancers will continue to turn fully. But once they then see the leader will then rotate clockwise towards the back right diagonal. So here, so I'll move from this position to the back right diagonal. The follow positions will continue to turn, as I said, and when eye contact is made, both the lead and follow positions will move to make the circle. So this will happen organically. The front row becomes the front of the circle and the back row becomes the back of the circle. The stagger lead position will step into the circle line. Boom. Everyone moves at the same time. Once eye contact is made with the lead position, all movers face towards the centre of the circle. So as we see here, leader stage left, downbeat right. The circle should be round and evenly spaced centre in the movement space and big enough to accommodate all the dancers and movers. All the movers face in towards the centre of the circle and make eye contact with one another. So, as you can see, they're now in a circle formation. I've drawn a heart to demonstrate that they want their heart centres facing in towards the centre of the circle. Okay. And this again is our circle leader stage right, downbeat left. So the magic V on the right side of the stage, the circle is made the same way as it is with a stagger. Leading left side using a timed or directional turns. The lead is now situated in the magic V of the right side of the stage or downbeat left. Here we go. So then we can go on to look at the circle rotation. Circle rotation, leader stage left, downbeat right. To rotate the circle, the leader begins moving clockwise in the circle path. Okay, this is the leader moving clockwise in the circle path. Each mover has the opportunity to stop the circle to be the new leader as they pass through the circle position. You can also keep going if you don't want to take the circle lead position. The circle leader can also go counterclockwise if they choose to. So they can choose to go clockwise in this position, or they can choose to go counterclockwise in this position. Circle lead pathways, leader stage left, downbeat right. So we've got two pathways. We've got the circle rotation, we have the circle fade back, and we have the fade in. When the circle leader starts moving back while still facing the rest of the movers will move back as well, making the circle bigger and bigger. So that would be our fade back. When the leader of the circle moves forward while still facing the movers, while still facing in, the movers will move forward, making the circle smaller and smaller. I'll fade in. Okay. So to steal to a stagger in a non-rotating circle, leader stage left, downbeat right. Oop, here we go. So to create the circle back to a stagger from a non-rotating circle, stage left, downbeat right. To move from a non-rotating circle back to a stagger, the mover to the right of the circle, here in B, the mover to the right of the circle lead position will leave the circle pathway disconnect eye contact, turn their body to the front and travel directly to the stagger lead position. The person initiating the stagger from a non-rotating circle doesn't ask questions and go for it. The dancers in the circle turn organically to face the front of the stagger. So they will see what is going on, and they will then turn organically to face the front in their stagger formations. The top row of the circle will form the top row of the circle here. The top row of the circle will form the front of the stagger, and the back row of the circle will form the bottom row of the stagger. So as you can see here, B initiated the stagger from a non-rotating circle, has done so, and is now in position B up here, in this position in the stagger lead. The other dancers have situated themselves accordingly to their position in the circle into their correct places on the stagger formation. Okay. So, steal to a stagger in a non-rotating circle, leader stage right now, downbeat left. We have a new magic V. We have a magic V, but now it's set up on the opposite side of the movement space. So, if the circle is not rotating, again, as previously, you can steal from the right side of the circle, making a new lead position on the right side of the stage, downbeat left. So, the person now here in B on this side of the circle can steal to the stagger rotation. Again, the dancer in the hard upstage right corner of the circle can steal to create a stagger with the leader stage right, downbeat left. And the same rules apply as they applied on the downbeat right. If this dancer chooses to create the stagger, they break from the circle. They break eye contact with the rest of the dancers. They angle and turn their body front and travel to the stagger position. They don't ask questions and they go. Okay, so steal to a stagger in a non-rotating circle from leader stage left, downbeat right to leader stage right, downbeat left. Okay. We have our new magic V. We have our new leader. The dancers who in the circle were at placement C and D are now the front row of the circle, and the dancers in placements E, F and A in the circle are now the bottom row of the stagger. The back row create the back row, and the top row of the circle create the top row of the stagger. Okay. Right. So, from a rotating circle back to a stagger, leader stage left, downbeat right, going in a counterclockwise rotation. So, in a clockwise rotation, sorry. So, rotating circle back to a stagger, leader stage left, downbeat right, clockwise. So, we have from a clockwise rotating circle, any dancer passing through the left back quadrant of the circle may choose to leave the circle path and travel directly to the new stagger lead position. So again, this is our line. So this dancer B has gone too far and cannot steal. So so when we're talking about the left back quadrant of the circle may choose to leave the circle path and travel directly to the new stagger lead position, I'm talking about this line here. So this dancer can't go and take it because they've gone too far. But this dancer here, when they hit that back quadrant, when A hits, they can take the lead. Okay, they can stop the rotating circle and move people into a stagger. So what happens is they break eye contact and face front instead of in towards a circle. So they break eye contact with the rest of the dancers. They break eye contact, face front instead of in towards the centre of the circle and move into their position. The front of the circle will form the front row and the back of the circle will form the back row. Rotating the circle back to a stagger, leader stage right, downbeat left. Going counterclockwise now. If the circle lead position rotates the circle counterclockwise, if the circle lead position rotates the circle counterclockwise, you can steal from the back right quadrant of the circle to leading right side, downbeat left. So again, we have our line here, which if you are in B, you've gone too far and therefore you cannot steal the position. But if you're in the back right hand quadrant of that, you can do. So position A can steal when they hit the line from a rotating circle to a stagger. The same rules apply. They break eye contact, face front instead of into towards the centre of the circle and travel directly to the new stagger lead position. As the mover in the circle lead position, you have the option to rotate the circle clockwise or counterclockwise. Yes, you can decide. But if you're stealing, if you're going clockwise, then you have to steal from that clockwise direction. Consequently, also, if you're then going counterclockwise, then you would be, this person would steal from here. Sorry, this person at the back would steal from here. If you're going this way, this person here would steal here. Okay. Rotating the circle back to a stagger, leader stage right, downbeat left. Okay. Because A, from here, from the counterclockwise movement, stolen in the correct position, has created a new stagger here. Okay. Now on downbeat left. Right. Going on to look at chorus lines. So a chorus line, the leader needs to cue a circle for a chorus line to happen. So we have our chorus line reference along here. Okay, so chorus line reference. How to get into a chorus line. So this formation can only happen from a rotating circle. A person behind the chorus line can go into the chorus line lead position. Okay, so here, this person is behind the chorus line, so they can then go into the chorus line. From a rotating circle, they can then go into the chorus line lead position. These dancers can't at this point, at this stage, they've gone too far. They must be at the back, behind the chorus line reference line that I've got here to show you that they must be at the back to then steal the chorus line lead position. The chorus line leader, stage left, downbeat right. Okay. So each dancer's hip and armpit, and now we're in a chorus line. So each dancer's hip and armpit magnetise to here, to the centre. So everyone has a different front. So they're all going to have a slightly different front because their hip and their armpit will slightly angle them into a different front facing position. Okay. The tail end of the chorus line the tail end of the chorus line needs to be even with the leader of the chorus line. So you see they're facing front and they're facing front. They would actually not be facing front. They'd be facing to the back of the other dancers, to the back of each other here. Okay. The chorus line is a smooth crescent shape occupying the back half of the movement space. The chorus line should be evenly spaced and rounded. The number of movers and the size of the magic V determines the spacing of the chorus line and should be adjusted for even spacing. 1, 2. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dancers here. So I've done my best to try and draw that out evenly, but depending on the number of dancers will depend on the spacing, determines the spacing of the chorus line. As I said before, that person there wouldn't be facing front. They would have their front facing to the back of this person. So the arrow would actually be adjusted. Oops, to be like that. Okay. Chorus line leader, stage right, downbeat left. So to change the downbeat from downbeat right to downbeat left, the leader can only cue a half turn in the chorus line. They can only cue a half turn in the chorus line. The rest of the dancers understand they need to turn. We know, and now we have a new leader of the chorus line. So they were previously the leader of the chorus line. They've cued a half turn. That's all. You can only cue a half turn in the chorus line. They've all done a half turn. And now this person who previously was at the back of the tail end of the chorus line is now the new leader of the chorus line. Okay. The chorus line to a circle, leader stage left, downbeat right. The chorus line lead position turns to face the other movers and makes eye contact and travels clockwise in the circle path. At the end of the chorus line, they take smaller steps, but still moving, so the front of the chorus line catches up. Travel must continue until the circle is complete. So here, the chorus line lead position turns to face the other movers. What that means is they will then turn to face the other movers in this direction. So that's the travel they can go along here. So they will turn to face the movers along this path. They make eye contact in the circle path, and the back of the dancers, the back of the tail end of the chorus line would then take smaller steps here. They will take bigger steps to create that circle. Here they'll take smaller steps. Okay. The travel must, till the back of the chorus line catches up, travel must continue until the circle is complete. Once the circle is complete, the movers can stop the circle by stopping the rotation in the circle lead position. Sorry, that's the chorus line. Circle lead position is here. In the circle lead position, or stopping in the chorus line lead position, or stealing to a stagger using the proper stealing placement. So we have the chorus line to a circle, leader stage right, downbeat left. Downbeat left. So this time the leader has as it explains, makes eye contact and travels. This would be counterclockwise now in the circle path. So we have the circle lead position here. They travel in the circle path from the chorus line in the circle path. The dancers here will take larger steps to create that circle, while the dancers at the back end will make smaller steps, again, to create that dynamic. Okay. Okay. So focus groups, leader stage left, downbeat right. So the focus groups allows for multiple leads in a movement space and for smaller numbers of movers in a centre group. So focus groups can only be made by the chorus line leader, the chorus line lead position. To initiate this, the chorus line leader leaves the lead position and steps diagonally forward and moves towards the centre of the movement space. So here, centre of the movement space. Any movers from the chorus line, except the last person here, may join the leader of the focus group. We must have a minimum of 2 people in the chorus line at all times. The person who fills this space here and the person who is at the tail end of the chorus line. Focus groups, leader stage left, downbeat right. So we have 2 lead positions. The chorus line lead and the focus group lead. The remaining movers in the chorus line fill out the space, fill out the original size by spacing themselves evenly. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dancers, 3 in the focus group, and we have 3 remaining in the chorus line. Okay. Rejoining the chorus line from a focus group, leader stage left, downbeat right. To rejoin the chorus line, the leader of the focus group uses a horizontal travel towards the end of the chorus line. So after a few steps, they initiate a release turn to release the stagger and rejoin the chorus line. The leader must be very clear about the angle at which they move. The movers see this movement and make room to add them to the back of the chorus line. Everyone moves except the leader of the chorus line. Reminder, so when movers leave the chorus line, everyone adjusts spacing except for the last position. Okay? When focus groups enter into the chorus line, everybody adjusts spacing except for the lead position. Okay? Right, finally, we have tricky trios. So, tricky trios only happens with 3 people from the middle of the formation. We have 3 people, 3 formations, a stagger, a flying V and diagonal. And we have 3 ways to get there. We can set it up that way, we can steal, and we can use a fade back. So beginning with a stagger, leader stage left, downbeat right. The stagger leader can either cue a fade back to create a flying V, or this person here can step forward. So let's say the leader cues a fade back. The middle person goes into the middle position, and the other 2 from that stagger are now at the back. We can rotate the flying V. So to rotate the flying V, the leader would step in a downbeat right, would step right and back and diagonally back. And they would face outwards. They wouldn't face in, so it's not a circle, it's a rotation. To initiate from a flying V to initiate a circle, the leader would cue a time turn, for example, a half turn. They cues a half turn, waits for the other dancers to see, and begins the circle rotation, in this case, downbeat right. The flying V to a diagonal. So the leader here of the flying V, of the stagger here, can cue a fade back, or the leader on the left steps forward to steal the lead, or this person can cue a fade back to create a diagonal, or this person can step forward to steal the lead. So that's a flying V to a diagonal. And in order to change places in this diagonal, the leader would create like a box shape, so an L shape. They'd step to the side and back, and this person would step to the side and forward. In this dynamic, only these 2 are allowed to rotate. This person cannot rotate in this dynamic. Okay. Circle from our diagonal, leader stage left, downbeat right. To cue a circle, lead of the stagger in this tricky trio cues a time turn, for example, half turn, waits for the rest of the dancers to make eye contact so they know the leader wants to create a circle. The leader will step into the circle position in order to start this dynamic. So they would cue their time turn, wait for the other dancers to have completed theirs, make eye contact with the leader. The leader would step into the circle line, and the other dancers will adjust accordingly, and they have now created the circle dynamic. Oops. Now created the circle dynamic. Here we are. Circle from a diagonal, leader stage left, downbeat right. So leader stage left has moved to here. We are at the stagger leader, and they've moved to the circle position. And we're now in this dynamic. Dancers want... So the dancers will go into their correct places in order for this to happen. It can also happen if leader is stage right, downbeat left. Steal to a stagger, leader stage left, downbeat right. Again, they want to steal to a stagger. So it has to be, as we explained before, to steal to a stagger from the rotating circle. This person here has to be behind this hard diagonal and travel at this diagonal up into the stagger, the back quadrant, sorry, and into the hard diagonal and steal into the position here. Okay, and we have our new stagger. And that is it. Thank you very much.